Well, hello and welcome back to the Oceania Apprentice Level 7K Tournament. Why did you say 2023? This is only the only edition. This is Hercule 85 in the booth, and alongside with me is Silweska Els. Hello there.
Hello, you never know. Maybe there's gonna be next editions, but let's focus on this one first, shall we? And I believe the matchup that we're gonna be having is Japeynius versus Playboi Carti, right?
Yeah, it is, and this is a losers bracket match. So a lot of things at stake here. Since if you lose this one, you have to say goodbye. But since we're already at this stage in the tournament, if you win this match, you are not guaranteed to play next week. You still have to play one more match later this weekend, and the winner of this match will be waiting for the result of the Unitory Potassium F matchup, which will also be happening late tonight at 13 UTC, which is a pretty interesting prospect as well.
Yeah, the thing about both these players is I think they have a relatively high skill ceiling. Like I know Playboi Carti's physicality and something, and also element coordination on the higher levels at least is not too is not something you should just look down on. Though I will have to say, Playboi Carti is probably gonna be avoiding the elements a lot right now.
Yeah. Oh boy. So we've received interesting news here. Playboi Carti is not prepared for this match, and Japeynius is still yet to download the pool.
Alright, so I don't know what
Yeah, what a way to start the weekend.
Oh wait, look, so Playboi Carti is all okay, so we have a full sight read match, everyone.
More sight read match. Here we go. Well, I hope these two watch the Maple showcase at some point. Right?
I mean, hey, there's a good thing though. No SVs. So,
Yeah, no SBs, yeah. Yep. Anyways, here's the first warm up, and just to give everyone a few more things to take note of. Matches will be a first to six this weekend and the next. So this is a first to 11. Obviously, the warm ups do not count towards that, since
you just
obviously
say
it's warm
first to
ups.
11.
First to six, best of 11. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Alright.
It doesn't mean that I just woke up. I mean, it doesn't mean that I did woke up like 4 hours ago and still haven't had my breakfast yet. So
Alright. That's fair.
definitely not messed up right now.
It's alright. We got this in the bag. So, something I'm curious about is like, I remember last time when it was still 5-0, being down 3-0 is like a very bad position because that means we'll probably only be guaranteed one pick. But being down 3-0 on a best of 6 gives or best look, even I mess up on a best of 11. Kinda
Yeah.
gives me the chance that maybe there's more picks to go. At least it's a speed though.
Yeah. There, like for matches like this long, like the map pools are pretty wide open. Like you have way more options this time around. So it does give you a bit more flexibility with your strategy, really. But obviously, like if you get a lead that big, you still want to protect that lead as much as possible, regardless. Like you don't really want to give your opponent any momentum at all if you're already that high up. I mean, we've seen quite a few examples over the years of someone leading with 5 charts in the best of 6 match and just getting reverse swept. We've seen a few instances of that over the years.
Yeah, I mean,
much more on the 7K context. Fairly like 2 years, actually last year.
oh my goodness, I remember that. You really have
Yeah.
to give. You really have to remind us about that, right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
200, and then like the only thing that really divided, the only the only reason why it even got to that distance is like somebody messed up at 272 points or something like that.
Yeah, 272 that
Yeah,
year.
yeah,
That
it's a very
year,
specific reference. Lol.
it reminds man, that year had like, and it happened to the same country because a not on the same country on the 4K tournament they lost the third place by 295 points. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, same year, same year. Yep.
Yep. But now let's look at Apollo, shall we?
Yeah.
The difference from this one comparing it to the previous one is look at the starting 7.24 and seeing that the mapper is COD PJR, I think this has gotta be a rice map.
Bangsock. You'd want to read that as Bangsock.
Wait, Bangsock?
Yep.
Also,
Korean keyboard layout. Like that is how you spell Bangsock. Like typing those characters if converted to
oh
like
my
a QWERTY keyboard layout as for if I remember correctly.
oh my goodness. But anyways, okay, so again,
But we call them Conti Junior just because.
junior. I call it junior. But anyways, again, being that this is a junior map, I'm expecting like a lot of rice patterns that are pretty anchory or brackety, if that makes sense.
I think knowing this guy's starts really like they're ridiculously difficult. It's much more at this level. But we're seeing
This,
Playboi Carti kind of doing what Playboi Carti does, like on price charts.
Japeynius is lucky that they're facing Playboi Carti at quarterfinals and not somewhere like semis or finals. Because I feel like the late Playboi Carti is gonna be one of those players that's gonna be like the later you go, the better they are, something like that.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be pretty interesting to see if Playboi Carti actually manages to go the distance because and same goes for Japeynius as well. Japeynius is going in, like if I'm not mistaken, Japeynius is going into this match. Um,
Either.
the one coming from the winners bracket. If I remember correctly.
Well, let's look at this. Let's look at the previous match, which featured Japeynius. They did end up having to face Nan and Ben Dusty in round of
Yeah,
16. So that's
yeah,
exactly why they're in this situation right now. So,
yeah.
look at the difference support from Japeynius and Playboi Carti right now.
Japan is also coming into this match like the higher seed. I mean, by virtue of be coming from the winners bracket, like this round. But like this matchup is very, very, very even. If like at least practically speaking, now that we're already getting into like the second half of the tournament. Yes, we
Oh
are in the
goodness.
second half of the tournament now, which is
Uh,
surreal. Which is pretty surreal as one of the co-hosts.
oh my goodness. What is this map? Oh my, I think both players did.
It's your typical high level rice chart. What do you mean? I guess
Honestly
maybe
though,
Cardi just really wanted to get that warm up out of the way.
I
I
mean, what
mean,
a warm up started off with though. Like at least for Playboi
yeah,
Carti.
like we won't be seeing charts of this level on this tournament. I think that's pretty sure.
But yeah,
Japan is just giving just resting in the end. I think trying not to overdo it. Anyways,
that's fair.
while we're getting into the roles, picks, and ban stage, I think I'll let you be the one commentating that.
All right, so looking at the skill sets of each players, I'm predicting Japeynius has to ban something like the technical picks in this pool, or honestly the bracket stuff. Well, Playboi Carti should be banning something like Psy or a Joyful Snowfall. Wait, I just called out both of your maps. I'm so sorry. That was unintentional. That was unintentional.
I mean, it's kinda expected though.
So look at the bottom. Look at that. Both have really low rolls. What in the world? But yeah, again, as I've said, I'm expecting Japanians to be banning something like Lunar, maybe Hydroripia, or even Kirby extending. For Playboi Carti, I'm expecting a ban on Psy or a Joyful Snowfall. I honestly think Crush Alcohol is something that Playboi Carti could take a point off or anything like that. So
Reasonably speaking, though, Joyful Snowfall might be the best ban for the non-LL players. Actually, little story though. Actually, it kind of makes sense. Eh, a little story getting banned kind of makes sense. I mean, it also has like some coordination element, but I still think that Joyful Snowfall might be the best bet for like the non-LN players going into this match. But
it looks
and
like
there we go.
wait, both players are
There we
banning
go.
LN. I'll be honest. I disagree with Japeynius banning LN because like Playboi Carti's biggest weakness is release type LNs. And if you're banning something like a Joyful Snowfall against Playboi Carti, I think that's an indication of low confidence on a skill set that you really could take a point off. So mentality wise, coming into the match, I don't think Japeynius is in a good state, especially on the long note ban that they committed here. At least that's how I see it.
Well, I think they're committing to it. Like both of these players are going to be committing more on a Rice versus Rice matchup. Uh,
Oh my
oh,
god. Guys,
there we go.
Yes.
There we go. Immediately picking like one of the hardest Rice starts in the pool. Though I think they're
I,
doing this by RNG.
I'll be honest, now that you mentioned it, I disagree with this pick because we saw how physicality goes out. Like, something tells me the harder the maps are, the better chances Playboi Carti has to win the point. So, wait a minute, what is this? What is this?
Streamer-san.
It's alright.
There you go.
Wait, is it there?
We're just.
Wait a second. Wait a second.
Oh, wait a sec.
Alright, what's going on?
Alright. Wait, hey.
Alright, what a very cool visual we're seeing right now. Wait, this round.
We're just waiting for.
Alright. Let's just alright, so there's
Alright.
Japeynius.
One, this Japeynius.
Okay, where's the other one?
And
Yeah,
there we
there
go.
we go.
There we go.
Alright. So the thing is though, both players are sight reading this. So when you sight read, it means you're going to lack a few things. Number one, familiarity with the patterns. And number two, well, I mean, it is kind of a subset of number one. But what I'm referring to is like being able to anticipate which parts you're gonna have a hard time and trying to adjust your fingers and wrists or even your arms to be able to play that. So now both players lack that, and it's going to be interesting to see how that counters with each other.
Also, just to make things a bit more interesting, this is the technical pick. But at least for like the players in this tournament, they should at least be able to play stuff like this comfortably at least. Though we see Playboi Carti grabbing the first miss of this chart.
I mean, it is the first miss, so luckily it's still there early on. It's only an 8,000 point lead, which is a solid one. But look,
Japeynius finding a pretty heavy drop there. And Playboi Carti trading that.
I don't know who actually wins it because I think that's a one miss advantage. No, two miss advantage now with Japeynius.
No.
But an accuracy lead, I think, could be on Playboi Carti's end. Because if you think about it, if Japeynius drops another one, regardless of what card it is on this map, it would immediately switch back to Playboi Carti as, once again, the accuracy it seems to be favored Playboi Carti. As I say that! Another drop on Japeynius aside.
Yeah, we're already at one of the hardest parts of this chart, and we're still pretty even between these two players. Playboi Carti starting to find some advantages as both players manage to hit that stair pretty fine, as Playboi Carti is starting to recover to 99% accuracy, which is going to give them a bit more breathing room going into the second half of this chart. And Japeynius finds a miss on the easiest part as well. That is not something you'd want to see.
That's the worst place to find a miss, because in the easy sections, this is the lowest chance for your opponent to find any mistakes. And right now, Playboi Carti is using that to their advantage, as Japeynius still trying to find their way up to the 400 combo, while Playboi Carti is clearly on there right now.
Playboi Carti starting to finally get their bearings, and both players actually negotiate the quad jack just fine. And
On
though unfortunately Japeynius does find a pretty major drop there. Client.
So yeah, I mean, clearly this was not the pick to make. As even if Playboi Carti drops now, I think it's a little bit too late. That's a very solid score for both players, with both of them securing a 98%. But it's evident that Playboi Carti has the technical advantage on the pool. Looking at the 200 counts alone, and actually especially the miscount, it's obvious that Playboi Carti has the advantage there.
Yeah. The only interesting to note are the ratios between these two players. They're actually pretty similar. But I think like at least for Edelweiss, like this chart in particular, this is like where most of like the wacky stuff are out. I guess Hydroripia might be the other wacky pick that they might want to avoid their site reading, like defer it to further into the match.
I mean,
And you will
yeah,
see Playboy Carti now picking the easiest of the rice picks here.
I actually wonder why this is the easiest. I mean, it could differ for players here, but now the only thing that really matters to me is you're picking something rice, which is good for players like David Cartney. I mean, we know how consistent they are because we did see how high their physical cap is compared to Japeynius, so that's already a sign that this could really favor someone like David Cartney. But I think it would be accurate to measure stage three or compare stage three rather between these two players, like
Mhm.
in the qualifiers thing. So in
This is very different to that though, because this is like a super
oh,
consistency heavy pick.
I'm just referring to the overall difficulty of the runs actually.
That's fair. That's fair.
So looking at the scores, Japeynius has a 3,000 advantage over Playboi Carti on their best runs. That's
Ah,
it.
that is super close.
That's it. That's it. Only 3,000. So ideally, both players should be able to be close at least. And on the
Yeah.
hybrid map, it's kind of hard to tell, but I think Japeynius does have the advantage here. Yeah, but it's only 2,000 points. Only 2,000 points off. So that says a lot about the skill sets of these two players being very close to each other. Though the first map clearly did not show that.
But yeah, like qualifiers while they're around this skill level, like we did say like quarterfinal like qualifiers will be around the quarterfinals level, but like obviously a full size map will be able to show a few more skill sets than what the qualifier set will be able to do, and like the variety will be showing a few more like a more what do you call it
More
like
specific
the
and tech,
yeah yeah like you're
like the
seeing
way I
more
see it.
variation, like a few more like much more variability. You're going to see a lot more difference between the players now that they are going to be negotiating like more patterns that maybe some players are not exactly the most comfortable negotiating with, and we're seeing that right now. Even Japan is actually having problems on the bursty stairs earlier, and Playboy Carti just negotiating this chart pretty fine, carrying that mid 99% accuracy comfortably in the lead.
Not to mention, there is a combo advantage to play by Carti, as Japeynius did find one drop. And right now, Japeynius is still at the 400 combo, which means they have a chance to recover here, but it has to happen soon. Play by Carti needs to drop once to even give Japeynius a shot at coming back. But I think this is one of the easier parts of this map. Like, look, it's only like 2-note chord and one singular note. So these two players should be able to hit these perfectly fine.
Yeah, we're about to enter one of the trickiest parts of this chart actually.
And Play McCarthy is showing their ability to hit those patterns, while Japan is finding another drop. That's a very dangerous situation already for Japan. Is not gonna lie, because like this
And
is
here
an
come the
indication,
thrills.
and I think both players should be able to do this fine. Think of it as like just your typical 4K chart with trails, except you're
But
involving
like
the
it's super easy to rush those thrills if you're not careful though.
Exactly.
Now here come like the densest part of the chart now, and Playboi
Look,
Carti continuing their dominant form.
look at this. I'm pretty sure this score by Playboi Carti right now could even beat a lot of the top seeded teams, like a lot top seeded players.
Like this would
In
be around the top seeds, yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
look at
that missed.
I mean,
That's
Japeynius right now. Japeynius is one of the top seeds, right?
like they're in the upper half, but not exactly one of the top seeds.
All right, that's fair. That's a fair assessment. But that's
What
another
what's
miss
it the
for.
saying that's a fair assessment throughout this entire tournament?
Oh my goodness. But like,
Well,
Japeynius finding a miss on the early part, I think that already kind of seals the deal right here. I mean, that's another one.
yeah. Japeynius really finding problems hitting those bursty stairs like throughout the entire chart. Like, we've seen quite a lot of them, which I do think opens some opportunity up for Playboi Carti to even pick Life is Piano if this match goes into the hybrid side.
Yeah, hybrids are going to be a big question. I mean, look at the ratio again. Once again, it's not very far apart. But consistency wise, Playboy Carti has been dominating this whole time, and that was a nice point to take for Playboy Carti. So the big question is, how does Japeynius answer back? If they're banning LN, it tells me that they're not confident with long notes. But Playboy Carti is
But
also confident there. So like, what do you do now?
well, we're picking the blank background, so get I guess they're going to be what? I think they're going to be experimenting just a little bit, maybe seeing how LNs are going to be, and hybrids are usually a good way to transition to that. But Japanius needs to be able to ha- win the points, get on the board.
There's somebody in the background
John
though. Like,
Cena's team. John Cena's team. John Cena's team.
I have a question.
But
What's after John Cena? It's called John Cena.
di na kita makita. Like I one up your pun, okay? Well, I had to do it in another language, but I had to one up it.
It should have, but like, yeah. Anyways, one thing I'm curious about, like, I mean, of course, this being a hybrid pick, it's also important to note the length of this one. 1 minute and 40 seconds. This means that for every mistake you do, lesser opportunities will be ahead for you to make up for those. So that means that these players have to be at 100% at their 100% for each part of the map. I mean, of course, it goes for all, but is it one of those exert so much focus on a shorter period rather than like constant focus on longer periods? You gotta really exert all of your power here.
Yeah. But it does, like, at least this pick kind of works now for Japanians. I mean, we see the accuracy difference between these two. Playboi Carti actually finding problems hitting the LNs on the middle finger, ring finger columns. As Japanius is negotiating this fine, carrying the 99%, and
Not
just
anymore.
pulling ahead this time around.
I mean, both players have been finding drops, so the lead has been consistent, but that's another miss on Playboy Carti's side. It's kind of like I was really questioning Japanese first pick. Like, you kind of just gave a breakpoint away to Playboy Carti, and this kind of reveals a lot about this skill set. Though there is one Rice pick that I think Japanese has a good chance on. That would be Rice 3, I'd have to say. So right now, let's focus on this as the long routes have been really damaging Playboy Carti's accuracy a lot. The lead is shrinking little by little, but like if Playboy Carti cannot be consistent on this one, then I don't think this is gonna matter too much. I mean, look at that right now.
Yeah.
Like you have those sort of rolls, you have LNs mixed on those fingers, and forward as well. It seems to be that LNs mixed with the rice is one of Playboy Carti's biggest issues that they have to work on right now. And there we go. Look at that ratio and 200 count difference. This is night and day compared to the previous two maps where it was pretty close on the ratio. And
Yeah, I think Playboi Carti should just should probably pick the remaining of what remains of the race pool, because at least they're on route to winning this before they run out of picks.
This
I
is
mean, at the moment they Playboy Carti runs out of picks, I would think. But yeah,
this is
over the Northern Mountain might. Oh, never mind. I was about to say over the Northern Mountain might be something that they have to be careful with, but they are going for it right now.
I did mention this is the pick that Japeynius has the best chance of winning on, especially considering that um, I think this is like if you think 30 SDX is the easiest, I think in terms of physicality at least, mixed with the lesser technicality of this map, I think this has got to be one of the easier charts. But here's the question though:
Probably.
how long
Oh.
can they be constant on the timing and the reading for 3 minutes and 29 seconds?
Yeah, it's a pretty long pick. Uh, like this is what, like a few, like just 30 seconds longer than the previous core jack pick. Like the stamina factor is definitely going to be there. Like this isn't as straightforward as what we saw with Chupri last weekend. Like you're seeing like a few more anchors. Like the core jacks are pretty spread out. Like some players might find this easier than the previous weekend's core jack pick. I find this harder, but that really depends. As Japeynius immediately finding the first drop on the earliest part of the chart, which is good, I guess. But look at Labor Carti's accuracy right now.
I mean, it's definitely better to miss early on than miss later. But like, you can't really just bank on your opponent making a mistake, especially this late in the tournament. Because while I do agree that the maps get harder, the skill level of the players also get better and better. So like, the later you go, the better you can expect your opponent to go. Much more scarily, if that makes sense. Right now, Playboi Carti is increasing that accuracy. It's still a ridiculously close map, yes, but there's a chance that the Japeynius will really have to work their way up just to catch up to Playboi Carti. And as they say, that's
Ooh,
another
I
drop.
say that. Nah, not exactly the best place to find the miss because Playboy Carti is continually gaining accuracy actually while carrying that 99.97.
This is I feel like this is why Playboi Carti chose Apollo as their warm up to be able to read those sports much better. That's another increase. Look, now they're at 99.8 for
Oh
Japeynius.
man,
Finding so
Japan
many
Japan is
missiles.
really finding problems with the heavier chords.
I think the spacebar and like the ring fingers or even the middle fingers actually have been doing a lot with Japeynius' mistakes. Right now, Playboi Carti, on the other hand, has been killing it on the consistency and accuracy. Though Japeynius, they are really struggling to keep it together. Playboi Carti finally conceding
Playboy
one
Carti
win.
unfortunately finding a drop, but I don't think it matters right now. Like Japanese needs a lot of misses from coming off Playboy Carti if they want to get a chance on, or what, at least pulling the score gap closer.
But it's actually increasing as Japeynius finds another drop. Like, even this part, which I would consider that one of the easier parts of this map, Japeynius is already struggling. So that means that they're losing the stamina and the focus to read already. That's not good because there's still a third of the map left.
Japan is actually having lots of problems on long jacks in general. I think, as we're seeing from at least the way they are hitting, like they cannot form any they cannot almost form any combo at all in these long jacks. Like Japan is finally got a stretch to a 100, but when the cord came in, they dropped again.
Mm-hmm. I think this would be like literally 10 misses in a row. Like, has to be combo and then miss, combo and miss, but there's like very little room for that. Not to mention the accuracy is a little bit too far apart from both of them.
Labor Carti
Japan
really showing a phenomenal performance here, negotiating that section just fine. Unfortunate miss though at the middle of the chart, but this is still going to be one of the best scores on this chart in particular. I would think 991
and
even with a miss. All right,
Wait, that's 100. That was almost a V on double S if it weren't for the 200 in the miss. The ratio from
Yeah,
Japeynius is very solid, but that accuracy and consistency from Playboi Carti was a little bit too much for Japeynius.
that's a really good run there from Playboi Carti, grabbing their fourth point. Actually, third point in this match, and Japan is immediately going for Life is Piano, which is a good option to make.
I think out
But
of the
I do think that
hybrids,
they have to eventually steal a breakpoint of Playboy Carti on the rise.
and right now it's not looking good. Two of the least physical maps are already out of the game, and I think Playboi Carti might just be able to use the rest. You know, sir, I think the biggest mistake the Japanese has done this whole match was picking Rice first. Because that just gave Playboi Carti the opportunity to take a breakpoint immediately.
Hmm. And like knowing that both players actually are sight reading, uh, Edelweiss wasn't the best first pick at all.
Honestly, it should have been the John Cena pick, in my opinion. Like, it should have been a John Cena pick or one of the hybrids. But the thing about hybrids is there's not too much Rice, not too much LN usually, so you kind of don't really reveal too much of either skill set. You kind of just get a balance. Like, yeah, sure, you can see how balanced they both are, but you can't really tell if they're the best at Rice or if the best at LN. So that should have been their first pick. But there's not. There's no point in dwelling too much on the past mistakes. And this pick really like Playboi and Japan have to be very careful with their picks right now. Because like I think the winner of this match in particular cannot just bank on their opponent for the next one to just side with everything. Because I don't think that's gonna be the case.
Well, first things first though, Japenius needs to get this point home immediately, as especially that what we saw on John Cena's team, Playboi Carti isn't exactly let's just say capable of acting most of the LNs, at least on the hybrid pool. Maybe for this entire map pool in general. Like Japenius can afford that miss, but they have to be careful, especially that Playboi Carti can pick up can pick up the pace. I mean, we're seeing it right now. And this chart has a lot of rice in it as well, so like Japanese needs to be careful here. And
Yeah, I
maybe
mean,
hope that they finds a drop somewhere.
well, both
Oh,
of them do.
they trade though.
I don't think that's the lead because like right now Japanese has the athlete. They both missed at the exact same time.
Yeah.
No, actually,
Playboy
Playboi
Carti
Carti
has
the
like the misadvantage though.
that is true, but
And there you go, Japanese finds another one.
Japanese has to stop dropping right now if they want another shot because they're really just giving Playboi Carti another great point. This is not a stage point yet by any means, but it's looking really bad right now for Japeynius as they've been missing on the more technical, the more diverse pattern in here.
Oh, Playboy Carti finds a drop. Actually, both players carrying similar accuracies. It's really just like the earlier mistakes from Japanius might be biting them
Oh!
back. But Labor Cardi
Exactly.
finds yet another drop. Japanius can still pull this a bit closer, but
I
he
think
have
they
to
will.
maintain whatever they have now.
The time is running out. The page is dropping accuracy. If that drops it, oh, but they find this. This is the bracket section, which ideally favors Playboi Carti, and they take a break point off of Japeynius. What a battle that was on this map, though. The ratio was clearly on Japeynius' side, but man, those two extra misses really hurt their score here.
Really close. I think that late miss really was their undoing because they were capable of maintaining the combo at the end. And
And
maybe
now,
like without that miss at the end, Japanese would have picked up this point, I would think. And this opens up the pool wide open here for Playboy Carti. I think LN3 might be a good option for them. Now looking at it.
nah,
But
wait, no, Rice Force already been chosen. Rice Force already been chosen, though. I don't know, if I were Playboi Carti, I would want to try and get one of the Rice picks out of the way again. Because if you think
Max
about
Face
it,
Journey might be a good option. Like try to
I'd say
because that's like or Hydroripia. Like, get the physical picks out of the way because that's like their best opportunity to assure themselves on point.
I'd go Rice too, actually. Because if you think about it, even if you lose this one pick, you're still one break point ahead, right? Because like Playboi Carti
Mhm.
won 2 break points. So if they lose that, it's gonna be like it's okay, and looking and like they still have 2 other Rice picks to go for. So I think Rice 2 might be a good one. So they're gonna completely disregard both of our suggestions and go for Rice 1.
I said Rice 1.
Oh, you said Rice 1? Okay, well
I
they're
said
gonna
Rice 1 or Rice 6 might be a good, like, get the physical ones out of the way because that's
oh,
like at least so like from the trend we're seeing over the entire match, like the very physical picks are favoring Playboi Carti by a mile.
yeah. I mean, definitely. I mean, I guess you're right there. So maybe Max Peace pairing works, but wouldn't Rice 3, wouldn't Rice 1 on the qualifier be more befitting for a speed pick though? So I think this is gonna be a little bit risky, as I do know Japeynius has like a 2K advantage on that.
Yeah, that really depends. Japeynius needs to pick up their pace though. If they want to grab this point, like they have to pull this break point back.
Absolutely, and I think the way to go here is Japeynius has to focus more on being more consistent rather than being more accurate. Because right now, while Japeynius has the higher act, Playboi Carti's consistency, as I say that, as I say
Yeah.
that,
Commentator
He's-
curse kicking in here from Sawascals.
I mean, if basketball players are not safe, what about these major players, right?
Oh yeah,
But
I
anyway-
forgot.
But anyways,
Oh, Japeynius isn't finding some consistency at all right now, and that is not good. Playboi Carti
Yeah.
doing very well now.
this is the thing. Like, I've noticed the things a little bit struggling on the ring middle index transitions, which to be fair is a really difficult pattern to master. But it's absolutely what's giving Playboi Carti the advantage right now.
And it's a pretty big margin already going into the second half of this chart where the density picks up just a little bit more.
Yeah, and not to mention their accuracies are ridiculously close. I think Japeynius has a slight advantage actually, but those 3 misses have hurt their chances of taking anything away from Playboi Carti. Once again, this break section, we've seen Japeynius miss on break sections before, and if they do that mistake once again, it's going to hurt their chances a lot more. But oh man, the
Here comes
accuracy.
Playboi Carti. Here comes the hardest section to start. Playboi Carti finding a first drop, but I don't think that. Actually, wait, Japeynius is actually holding very well accuracy wise here, but
Wait!
the misses from earlier are
Oh!
they're undoing.
That was too close to call. That was
It's
too close to call.
close. It's very close.
Look at that accuracy from the pings. 3 200s compared to Playboi Carti's 12. And that ratio as well, but that 3 misses really hurt
The
their
3
chance
misses
of
from
being
earlier. Yeah.
at this point. I think you have no choice but to go for the long nodes. Like you saw the hybrids are not even like you saw that the hybrids were really risky. And honestly I would go for Sai.
Sai would be the better pick, but there's that one section in the chart where I think Japeynius will be finding a drop or two.
But if
But they have
Japan
to-
stopped,
And
Japan
they have to rely on Playboi Carti, not actually Qualia is actually I've been ruling out Qualia, but that's actually a pretty good pick.
I don't know,
I've been
again.
ruling that one out, but it's actually a pretty good pick now that I think about it.
Yeah, but like, again, it's just the risk of losing that hybrid thing. I think it's a little bit too much, in my opinion at least. And we know that Japeynius can still take a break point opportunity from Playboi Carti, but they have to remember that there are 2 rice picks for Playboi Carti to pick. So
This is a pretty heavy. This is a pretty heavy like what? A pretty Ellen heavy pick. There we go. So I guess Playboi Carti just needs to be careful here, but so I do see them maybe maybe grabbing another break point to close this match out. But Japeynius has does have the tools, does have the means to take this back, but they have to start now to at least force a tiebreaker.
I mean, yeah, Playboi Carti guaranteed tiebreaker essentially already from the previous pick. So like they absolutely have no choice but to win here.
Actually, now, actually thinking about it, the tiebreaker might be favoring Japeynius. So they have to, at least on like what I saw from the patterning, like Japeynius might be the one favored for the tiebreaker, but they have to reach that point.
I mean, not to mention, it does seem like Playboi Carti is going to be taking advantage of the earliness in Japeynius right now. But the accuracy is going to be favoring them as they say that.
We're seeing more difficult LM patterns here, and both players finding a drop of Japeynius with like much higher accuracy. So you see from Playboi Carti here dropping to, actually we're almost like a percent accuracy gap here. Japeynius with the advantage,
Well,
but a lot of these patterns are going to be pretty difficult to pattern. Like this is that chart. This is that one chart in the pool where you just need to outplay your opponent and not exactly aim for a high score, really.
yeah, I mean, right now, Japeynius is pretty consistent when it's compared to Playboi Carti. Not to mention their accuracy is also a lot higher. But at least compared to Hybrid 2, this is once again very close. So Playboi Carti can still take a point if the range is not careful on these right sections. Oh, as I say that, but Playboi Carti plays it back.
But it's a pretty sizable lead here. There is one section here at the ending that I think I see both players finding a drop. I think both players at least need to manage negotiating that one. Kasi it's the last pattern, but Japeynius currently in the driver's seat. They need to continue this form of consistency. As Playboi Carti finding yet another drop in that LN coordination section, but I don't think it would matter, especially both players already trading. Japeynius needs to limit those drops though.
And this is a statement victory from Japeynius. I think it's safe to say that Japeynius won this pick by a kilometer. Sorry, I'm not gonna say miles. I refuse to say miles.
Yeah, Singaporean. I know. Singaporean. Like
But
I
yeah,
guess if Playboi Carti is a lead, we say mile. If Japeynius is the lead, we say kilometer. There we go.
kilometer. Yeah, exactly. But like, speaking of kilometer, the ratio difference though says that it's pretty close with each other. And the Toronto count, I think it was only a little bit ahead. But again, the consistency of Japan is kind of what gave them that win. Which is, once again, we're seeing a night and day comparison here. On the picks that Playboi Carti has won though, only a couple I think have been like really close. And on the picks that Japan wins, they've been like pretty dominant on their end.
Alright, now we're seeing Lunar here, and honestly, this might be Japeynius' last chance to at least grab a breakpoint off Playboi Carti on the race.
This is going to be Playboi Carti's second to the last pick.
Yeah.
If this goes to distance, that is. I think at least.
Though
So,
there's only after this is like only one more race pick actually. Now that I notice,
which is good because if you think about it, that is the only pick Playboi Carti's gonna be able to make anyway.
like Hiripia. But
So
accuracy between these two players are going to matter the most here. And Japeynius is actually doing the better job between these two players as it stands.
And right now, this sort of chord scheme really would benefit someone like Japeynius because like it's one of the easier picks. So that means that Japeynius has a better chance of being consistent. Though Playboi Carti's accuracy isn't even that bad either. It's just Japeynius' consistency on the UR is more evident. Like see a 200 though, I think.
Yeah. Japeynius needs to limit those drops though, especially that Playboi Carti is just breathing right behind their neck.
Let's see who's going to take
Playboi Carti is slowly gaining accuracy.
Not to mention, it's starting to get a little bit more denser compared to before. And this is the part where I think Playboi Carti could gain, but look at Japeynius though, gaining as well. So it means that both of the players are now laser focused, able to hit these sports teams despite them getting denser. Now I think this is where both skill sets have really been ironed out, warmed up 100%, and now at our full capacity. So my goodness, this is consistency between both of these players.
Like only a few hundred points are actually just over 1,000 point split. These two players as we enter the second, like the final third of this chart, and both players I think are feeling the nerves here. Does it seem though from how they're performing in this break section? Now here we go, densest section of this chart now.
You gotta be nervous. That's what 200 is taking with Japeynius. So the accuracy is gonna be ridiculously close. I'm not surprised though, because if you think about it, it's getting denser and denser again.
Oh,
Look at
everybody
the
fighting
first
at the
drop.
top of the big Gordo. That
That's
gives
such a
Japeynius some breathing room.
But it's only some and not a confident one. This is ridiculously close still. My goodness, this is. Wait, oh, that's the drop of Japeynius, indicating there's some sort of unstable.
Oh, that's a drop of Japeynius as well.
It's not
Playboi
drop.
Carti with a bigger accuracy advantage actually.
Wait a second. There's only 1,000. I think there isn't enough time. Is there enough time?
I think there is.
Wait.
Oh.
What?
Oh my god, what?
Wait. So
Only 124 points split these two.
So considering that Japan has won this pick by the smallest of margins, I guess you could say that this was only centimeters apart from each other.
Might be millimeters even.
Yeah, that would be millimeters. That would be millimeters, I think.
Oh man, this is ridiculously close. Japeynius with a better gold 300 count might be the one that saved them.
My goodness,
Oh,
yeah,
my
and I think, man, this is so interesting. This breakpoint really says so much. And now, what do they go for? I think they have to avoid crush alcohol. I think it has to be Psy, right? It's gotta be Psy. Alright, Japeynius using a tactical timeout. This makes a lot of sense. Like, you're now in a very high pressure situation. I don't think Japan is expected to take a break point like that. And my goodness, is this getting really, really close now.
Well, alright. So it's Japeynius picking. And we have 3 charts remaining here. Presumably, Playboi Carti will be the one picking Hydroripia. And at least on what we're seeing right now, Japeynius is starting to find their groove with the rice picks. Like, albeit like it's ridiculously close. Japeynius has two options, Psy and Crush Alcohol. Though I do think Crush Alcohol might be the more dangerous pick.
It could be, but we'll have to see first. Yeah, like, wow, Japan is winning the pick only by like only a few hundred, like no, 100 points even, only 124 points. That was such a small difference, but that's a major development in this match, even for such a small win.
Yeah. I think Psy is Japeynius' best pick here. It might be. Because if Japeynius picks Crush Alcohol, like Crush Alcohol kind of works as like that weird rice pick. And I think it's super risky to do that. While Playboi Carti hasn't exactly established like a good release timings over the previous picks, but we saw what they performed with on Life is Piano, and it's the most similar chart we have to Crush Alcohol.
I mean, we'll have to see first.
Oh man, this is really close. This is really tricky,
Also, I
I
just
think.
realized this, but is this just the first note of Lunar being played the whole time?
It is. Now that I notice.
It's actually satisfying to hear because it's so silent.
There we go. It's starting to build up.
My God, I'm so nervous right now. I'm actually, and I'm not even the one playing. Not to mention, Playboi Carti is playing at an extremely late time for them, and I think it's like 4 a.m. for them.
Japeynius has to pick now. And they're... Oh wow, they're going for crushed alcohol, huh?
Okay, here's the thing, alright? I believe Japeynius has 2 more picks compared to Playboi Carti's 1, right? He's looking at the
Yeah,
order.
yeah, yeah.
So if Japeynius
Oh,
wins, no, yeah,
I think
two
this is
including this.
Japeynius' final pick. Actually, this is Japeynius' final pick.
No, it should be 2, right? Oh wait, no, it's final pick. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
it's a
because
like the
okay, my
next one
bad.
would be Playboi Carti's final pick.
Okay, my bad, my bad. Because like I was saying, if it was still 2 picks left, right? I would have thought if Japanese wins crush alcohol, then it would be fine. Because if they take another breakpoint from the country, then they can just go for Sai, which I think is a safer pick for them.
But that would Sai would be like that one remaining pick though.
And that is fair.
Like, well, Japeynius has to win this point. I think that's pretty obvious. But if Playboi Carti manages to grab that break point, they will advance to tomorrow. Yes, I have to say advance to tomorrow because they have to play another match later this weekend. Oh, that's an early 200 from coming off Japeynius. Playboi Carti also not exactly having a good start, but they have the better start between the two players, which is the one that actually matters. But Japeynius is starting to get that accuracy back up, which is a good sign for Japeynius.
And currently, that is a very good recovery from Japanese on the accuracy side, at least. So the thing about density is this is the kind of pick that I think Playboi Carti is the best chance of taking a point off, at least among the LMs. So as they say that they find the first drop between these two players, Japanese
But
trades one
Japeynius
back though.
finds the trade though. Similar accuracies now between these two players. So no one in particular is safe here. Playboi Carti now with a better accuracy. Uh, Japeynius needs to pick up the pace here. Only a few hundred
And
points separate these two players,
so it's clear
and
that
and this short will not let up once the density starts to pick up yet again.
I like how we're already at the halfway point and yet it's like not even 500,000 points. So I think that means there's still a lot of this map left. Oh, Japanese
Oh,
plays a
Japeynius,
drop!
that's a pretty big drop.
That's a bad drop. Like if there's any place you should not want to drop, it's definitely that one. Because this is still sort of a break section, really. And here we go. This part I think should favor Japeynius because this is one of the more control-ish parts. I mean, it's evident as Playboi Carti is starting to drop a little bit more accuracy.
But Playboi Carti's combo has been pretty sizable here. Japeynius is breathing right behind Playboi Carti's neck, but both players need to be super careful as here we go with a slow LN bracket. Japeynius starting to pull the lead to their side, but they drop.
I'm surprised Playboi Carti is so consistent, especially considering.
And there you go, there's a drop of Playboi Carti. As you mentioned that Japeynius is starting to pull the lead towards the side again. It's a pretty sizable drop for Playboi Carti, dropping to below just above 99%. That's a 0.4% act drop there.
And now we know Japan's tendency to miss on those transitions between the fingers on the same hand. So this could still really very well go to Playboi Carti. Ah,
Well, there's another miss.
That's another miss. It does. But wait, Playboi Carti.
Japeynius fades it, but the lead is pretty sizable now.
Oh my goodness! What a win for Japeynius. They really needed that. So if that
That was a close call. That was a close call.
the previous pick they won it by like millimeters. I think this one is like around a centimeters victory. I would say maybe even a meter.
Decimeter.
Just a meter around there. Just a meter. Yeah, just a meter.
Decimeter, like 10 centimeters. Okay. Metric system for the win.
But yeah, look, that's
I like my Greek and Latin prefixes. What do you mean?
but like look at this. Look at this.
And there you
A
go.
while
Playboy
ago,
Carti
I
going for
remember
the
a
race.
while ago, and I remember a while ago you were saying that like a 5-0 lead is not safe. Well, this one is a 5-1 lead, and look at the way it is right now.
Well, here we go. Playboy Carti going for their final pick. Alright, Rice 5, which is what I expected, Hidoripia. Which we expected Playboy Carti to pick. And
Yeah, I mean, it is fair.
I
It's only
Japeynius needs
yeah.
to pick up the pace here because I don't fancy their chances right now.
I don't. I like how you use that. I don't fancy, but yeah.
But Japeynius can pick up this break point, I would think. Like they have what it takes. They just need to believe in themselves.
Believe it. If you believe it, you can be somebody. You can be somebody.
And
If you
everybody just
believe
needs
it.
to do their job right.
That is true. So let's see. Let's see if who will take it to the distance here. I really do hope it's gonna be a very close one. But that's gonna give me another heart
I'm
attack in
hoping
this
for a
one.
tiebreaker, actually. We haven't tasted a tiebreaker since last weekend. And it would be
I,
good to open this one with one.
that would be true, but Japan is finding some 200s already early on. And right now, Playboi Carti is slowly gaining on, but as I
Well,
say that,
there's a drop there.
my goodness, I feel strong with the commentators today.
Well, keep at it so that we get a tiebreaker.
And right now,
Japeynius,
Japan is slowly increasing the lead, gaining a few more meters ahead. As he's
be
reaching
careful,
the limits.
be careful mentioning Japeynius. What do you mean?
Oh my goodness. Like, here's the thing, alright? So
But yeah, Playboy Carti is slowly gaining accuracy.
slowly
So Japeynius needs to be
No!
Japeynius needs to be careful. I was about to say Japeynius needs to be careful, especially with Playboy Carti already gaining accuracy pretty quickly here.
So here's the thing. Playboi Carti is actually the lead isn't increasing too much from what I've noticed. It's only inching a little bit ahead against Japeynius. But my goodness, this is still really close. This is the break section. 3,800 points of difference. Yup.
Both players do not afford finding a single drop here. Again, just a reminder, what's at stake here is a spot to tomorrow.
Wait,
Fame, one more match this weekend.
and right now, the lead is actually increasing. It's actually going to Japeynius' side. That's what I say that.
That's
That's
not
a
good.
massive one. And Playboi Carti has inched their way upwards. It's slowly increasing. And Japan's finding another one.
Japan is finding another drop, and I don't think that, and I think that's it. Playboy Carti
Yeah.
will be advancing to tomorrow. Or what could have been one of the closest matches in this entire
One of-
tournament. In this
And
entire tournament.
one of the biggest comebacks. It could have been also that as well. So Playboi Carti goes the distance, goes up another step, goes ahead by a mile. But my goodness, was this very close between both of these players. My God, this could have easily went either way.
Easily, yeah. I think like Japanese main blunder here was relying on their race immediately at the start. Because at least the LN ban would have been would have been a clue. Like even if Ellen forgot banned, I don't think it would have mattered at least for Japeynius. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's what we get. Like the players just need to be careful with their strategies. I would think going into the match.
that's fair. And now Playboi Carti is going to be the one anticipating for their next opponent. Japeynius played really well, even like almost completing the comeback, I'd have to say, but just fell off short by a little bit. So I think, as you said a while ago, Playboi Carti is going to be waiting the victor of the Victoria versus Potassium F, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and that matchup in particular will be happening at 30 UTC. But we will be back in 2 hours time. At 11 UTC because we'll have another losers bracket match between Lazarent and Pavin, and I think that's a pretty spicy matchup as well.
I'd have to agree. I mean, I just really hope these two players are prepared and like I'm excited to see how their A game looks like. Really.
Yeah. Well, I'll leave it to you to close this stream out.
All right. So yeah, once again, a wonderful performance from both players. Ridiculously close match, and it was definitely one that went the distance. Though, congratulations to Playboi Carti and for Japeynius. Good job as well on how you did today, as you did show that there are definitely a lot you can do even if you are down by a lot. But with that being said, thanks so much everyone for stopping by. We hope to see you on the next match, once again happening 2 hours from now. Goodbye!